Evening Barmy Gamer. I might need to meet myself an army doctor. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome along to Monday Night on Twitch, your sim racing fix provided once again by SOP. It is the one-off 1 hour at Daytona. The road layout, looking forward to this one, will be new, of course, to SOP, as it's not currently included in ACC. But our ventures into Race Room. See us venturing far and wide. It will be a 1 hour race with times 2 tyre wear. My name, of course, John Wright, or Double O Raven, bringing you all the proceedings this evening. 21 drivers out on track at the moment. No Barmy Gamer. He is recovering from what does sound like an interesting incident. Game sounds is a bit weird, isn't it? What's that background? Yeah, sorry, I've totally got myself lost in my own tracks there because there's seems to be a strange background noise that I can't account for. That's a bit like the little on board. Wow. Okay, let me turn that down a bit. Yeah, something is definitely awry with the sound. Apologies if it just blew anyone's eardrums out. So, the volume's absolutely blasting when we're on board and can barely hear it when we're not. That's fine. We've got the cars running though, as I say, 2022. We've got for this one at the moment, times 2 tyre and fuel. So there's going to see some interesting strategies. A couple of these cars do like to go through their tyres around this course, and there's a couple of cars that do like to go through the fuel, to say the least. One mandatory pit stop for the drivers. May see a few go for 2 if the strategy doesn't play out the way they want it to. So we can expect most definitely to see a fair bit of slipstream engaged. As Lucas Wallering comes flying through the bus stop. The one kink in the outer oval on the track, of course. As you can see, absolutely hammering it around there. I've got a fairly strong field as well. Let me just put that on just now. It is close qualifying, so the drivers are out on track on their own. So no pressure. No pressure it would seem for Luke Southall then. 6/10 ahead of the rest of the field at the moment. And less than a tenth separating second and third. So just goes to show, yeah, how much ahead the rest of the field he is. That seems to be broken. That's still broken. There we go. The Bentley sticks to the corners like glue around here. Huh. I should actually give it a go. I've never, like, you know what, that's going to be problematic. You know, you change your setup and you think everything is absolutely beautiful, and then you try and use the microphone and you realise that you may have made a faux pas. So excuse the squeaking while I try and tighten this up in such a way that I can actually use it. There we go. Don't you love a broadcaster that talks his way through his problems? Luke Southall, as I say, he's got no problems. He's up at the front. 1 minute. Oops, and now it's swinging into the... Oh, my goodness me. Oh, this is going to... Oh, wow. Right, okay. Yeah. Goodness gracious. Let's have a quick jump around the field. Okay, apologies. There we go, there we go, there we go. Right, let's. Lucas Wallering. What is he at the minute? Just on 9/10. Himself and Kovac. Simon Baggis, 1.7 down, but an almost identical time to Dennis Gallo at the moment in the Mercedes. Very much the Audi show at the moment. Leon Seeley in the Audi as well. Cameraman really having a day off today, which is great. That's not even supposed to be that. That's not even supposed to be that. There we go. He's in an Audi as well. At the moment, we've got another driver joined, Matt Bateman. He's not set a time yet. Neither to Dirk Pfeiffer or Jose Carlos Diaz. We do have in the BMW Bernard Teresa, Craig Gallagher. Just ahead, Carl Smith on the timing board, but no, oh yeah, there he is there. Okay. But yeah, that's qualifying. Pretty much coming to an end then. 1 minute left to go. I really can't get any closer than that. As I say, 1 mandatory pit stop, times 2 tyres, times 2 fuel. So there's going to be fuel saving from some of the cars. Attempted tyre saving from other cars. Nice to see Leon in race room. It is indeed. It is indeed. Of course, if anyone does enjoy racing in race room, I believe it's already full, but there may be reserve spots. Head over to Sim Racing GP, exclamation mark race room in the chat, should bring it up actually. The prizes for next season, trips to Donington. Has that been announced yet? There's big prizes. Here's the qualifying results from a now nervous broadcaster. Luke Southall, 146.974. The only driver to go sub 1 minute 47, in fact 6.5 tenths of a gap he's got over Frank Van Roon in second position. Ian Egan for SOP Esports in third place. Ballas have another driver in fifth. That's all disappeared. So it's Wallering in fourth, Juzma in fifth, sorry. Janis Kovacs in sixth. Ackerbelts is going to start in 7th. Dennis Gallio in 8th place. Simon Baggis in 9th, ahead of the aforementioned Leon Seeley. I'm sure Simon will be quick to remind him of that on every occasion. This broadcast thing, it really is a thing of beauty, but it just, when it doesn't work, my goodness me. Yeah, so Seeley's 10th, Azevedo in 11th, Enrique from the FRT team in 12th, Camano in 13th, Paul Stinger in 14th place, Andy Kez in 15th, Andrea Radius in 17th, Andy Withers is going to start in 17th, Carl Smith in 18th, Craig Gallagher has got himself a 19th position, Bernat Teresa in 20th, Jose Carlos Diaz will be starting in 21st, Dirk Pfeiffer 22nd, and Malk Bartman starting in 23rd. Here are the drivers lining up then on their formation lap. Oh no. We'll almost deploy the safety car there. And just... Are lifted, so I won't get shot. Let me just grab it. Somebody's jump started. I've made it back just in time to see that. We have had a jump start off the line. Oh, and that's a terrible start off the line. What's going on there? Oh, I don't know what's going on there, but that is not... Oh, and that is a massive pile-up right at the back of the grid there. I don't know if somebody put the foot down too early. Oh, Bagus has come a cropper. Leon Seeley right in the middle of the pack. We've got a Porsche that's beached. He is going to have no tyres left. Luke Southall, false start. It's just come through. So the race leader, man, we need a replay function on this. That was quite the start then. No idea what 100% has actually happened. I do know that Seeley, Stinger is out the race. Oh no, Stinger's back in. There we go, he's moving again. Phenomenal stuff. Right, so Luke Southall has been given a penalty, which should be shown on the screen, but it's not. But it did say he's been given a penalty for a false start then. We'll see if that's actually correct. Juzma in second, up 3 positions. Ackerbelt's up 4 into third. Egan down into 4th position. Azevedo in 5th. Woolering then in 6th place. So it really did shake up the standings. We're on board with Woolering. He's going to go right round the outside of Azevedo. Beautiful move getting that one done there. On his way into the bus stop. Is he going to be able to make that one stick? Where is Helicam when you need it? Azevedo then in the Porsche. He is still being chased then by Kovac, so he did make that one stick around the outside. So too Woolering, sorry, was the one that we were watching. Now that we're on Helicam, that's where that noise is coming from. And you can see he's got Azevedo chasing him down. He's got Ian Egan just in front of him. They're going to go 3 wide in that slipstream. It was Kovacs looking for a move again. Egan much further ahead than the time in Delta suggests. They are going to go 3 wide here though. Oh, he almost made contact on the inside across the start-finish line for the oval section of the track. Oh no, so that is the end of the first lap coming into the infield section towards the first horseshoe. So it's Southall leading the way from Juzma in second. Ackerbelt's in third, Egan in 4th, Woolering in 5th position, Kovacs in 6th, Azevedo in 7th, Andy Kez in 8th, Radius in 9th, Bartman up in the 10th position then, Dennis Gallio. Let's try and get some sound other than that helicopter. Nope, not happening. Yeah, that'll do. Dennis Gallo then, he's Camano. Withers Smith in the background. Is that Carlos Diaz? Frank Van Roon then. I think we've found out which driver was caught up in the incident at the start. Van Roon, I think, was the driver that didn't get the best of starts. It looked like the car just pulled straight into the wall for him. He's now down in 18th. Bagus and Seeley dropping down. Oh, and he's off. There's been contact. Oh, and that's a big contact for Van Roon. That was a full 720 after that contact on his way into the first horseshoe section. The car is moving again, minus the front splitter. I'm not sure how aerodynamically sound that's going to be, so potentially into the pits pretty soon. One mandatory pit stop into the pits, but it is a bit early to take that, given the size of the petrol tank and the type of tyre wear. The steer's decision did pop up there and disappeared again. I don't know why it's doing that. But what we do know then, it is still Southall leading the way, and he is pulling into the pits. So he has been given a penalty. He's already down to 6th position. So that was a false start then. So Ian Egan promoted to the lead of the race. Marcus Duzma, I do apologise. I was looking at Egan there on the board because he's up to second place ahead of Ackerbelts and Woolering with Kovacs not far behind. Kovacs, of course, having some great drives in the SOP League, and certainly looking to back that up at the moment in the vet in the infield section. He's all up in the slipstream of Woolering, with Ackerbelts still sitting just ahead of them. Duzma with a 1.7 second gap as they come through the infield section. So as he gets out onto the banking, he won't be giving up any slipstream. Kovac, nice neat entry there for Kovacs. Ackerbelt's coming under some serious pressure for Woolering, and he's letting that pressure show as well. Running a bit deep onto the exit to the the horseshoe on back out onto the outer banking. And I think Ackerbelts is going to be giving up more slipstream than Woolering is, although Kovacs absolutely hammering it around the outside. They're all bouncing off that yellow line out onto the wide outside, as far out wide as it can get without clipping that wall. You can see a few scrape marks on the wall as well. Into the bus stop chicane. Oh, and it's a bit of a concertina effect there as they all avoid contact, but Kovacs does manage to avoid contact ahead. Woolering very nearly came a cropper on Ackerbelts here. Duzma still 1.4 seconds to the good, and Kez, in fact, at the moment looking very quick as well to jump on board there. He's got Gallo, Radius and Bartman just ahead of him. More overtakes in the background. Luke Southall is back out of the pits after serving that penalty, and he's actually side by side with Frank Van Roon. A battle we thought we'd see for the lead of the race, and this is now for 19th position. Van Roon might have actually come into the pits. I would have to double check that, but he might have got a false start as well, so he might have already taken his penalty, as well as obviously having that massive contact that we saw. But he does have the one-time race leader about to cruise past him. There is another car. There's two cars coming into the pits in. We've got ERT and Paul Stinger both out. Seeley into the pits again very early. Van Roon in the pits. He's maybe had enough of that damage. That is a forlorn-looking car. Ian Egan within 1.2 seconds. He is steadily closing that gap. Kovacs as well closing that gap. Radius on Bartman as well. Look how close this little group of cars are. Bartman, Radius, Gallo and Kez. Kamano, in fact, as well. Not too far behind there either. As we jump on board there out into the outer bank, and you can see the side-by-side action up ahead. Let me just confirm. That is Bartman. Oh, he's pulled back into the slipstream now. Chasing the Mercedes down. He's now sandwiched by Mercedes, going on his way into the bus stop chicane. That's maybe not the best position, as we can see. Marcus Duzma picking up a slow down. The Mercedes looking for a look up the inside to join. Oh, Ackerbelts getting a slow down. And Andy Kez getting a slow down. They're going to have to be careful. It's a long 1 hour race. Kamano through the bus stop picking up a slow down as well. Too many track limit violations and you will get yourself an extra trip into the pits. We've got Dirk Pfeiffer, potentially a relation to Joe Pfeiffer, hopefully. That should be there. Currently in 13th position. And there's JC Kamano. I think that must be another penalty because he couldn't have waited that long to serve it. Oh, Radius getting involved in actions with Bartman. They two trade in positions. The Mercedes going to come right back at him on the way into the horseshoe, and that is going to give Gallo a good look as well. Gallo already down in position. He'll be looking to make one back. He knows that they've got the vets. Have got the vet is sandwiched by the Mercedes. Oh, Woolering, in fact. Let's jump on there. As he is within 3 tenths. Ian Egan still chipping away at Marcus Duzma's lead after Duzma got that slowdown. The gap now down to 7 tenths. In fact, it was at 9 tenths. It's now down to 7th. So that is dropping. Pfeiffer closing in on Withers, Kamano and Kez, with Gallo and Bartman still hanging on to the back of Radius. In fact, that's quite the train of cars that he's bringing with him. Although they've stretched out onto the outfield section this time. Radius getting himself the most amount of space he's had in the opening few laps. We'll see how quickly the... Oh, Juzma with another slow-down penalty, and I tell you, that's giving Ian Egan all the look he needs. He's within half a second now. So too Woolering and Kovac. So two podium positions in play at the moment. Bartman on Radius, Gallo as well. Still trying to find that overtake. Carlos Diaz currently 17th position. But it is very much a battle of the BMWs between him and Teresa. There's Kovac's picking up a slow-down penalty, and he's got Woolering all over the back of him already. As soon as he takes that penalty, he's going to be under serious threat. Plants the car right on the middle line. Really does offer Woolering no way past there. Serves his slowdown, I think. Let's see if it pops back up. He might have got that one served. But he is certainly feeling the pressure. Woolering for the Bollis Esports team, looking to get that move done. So too Gallo on Bartman. Still the Mercedes. Ooh, nice exit there. Really using all of that curb, and the Corvette is really struggling to hold him off at the minute. Carlos Diaz up 3 positions. Van Roon now finds himself in 20th. Luke Southall. He's got that battle dispensed with. He is now... Oh, there's a BMW of Teresa just ahead. And in fact, yeah, that's Southall making his way through the rest of the field after he's gotten that pit stop take. Oh, a bit of contact on the straight with the BMW. But he does manage to make it past there. Teresa a bit keen on the straight. Carlos Diaz is going to close in thanks to the loss of momentum for Teresa there with that contact. Kez, there he is. Do love that Mercedes livery. It's an oldie but a goldie. Wollering with the slow down penalty now. Oh, and Egan battling for the lead of the race in the Audi. A tenth of a second. He's up the inside of the bank, and not much of a battle there from Juzma. He gave up a lot of slipstream there. The Audi using that one beautifully, and Egan has just got his nose in the front by maybe a front splitter's length. Oh, Lucas Wollering with another slow down penalty. Ackerbelts with a slowdown as well. Oh, there we go, Camano. Camano, Pfeiffer and Kez this is then. Having themselves a great little battle out with the bus stop chicane and towards the infield section. A few positions traded there, so despite the slowdowns, Camano's hanging on to 10th position just about. He is coming under, as we can see. Monster amounts of pressure. They don't do a real driver cam on here, but they're passenger seat. We can see he's got 1.1 seconds back. 0.4, Carlos Diaz closing in on Teresa. Those two both up positions. Bagas down 6, but up to 15th. Or back up to 15th position. After that unfortunate lap 1 incident. In fact, it was a start line incident. Still not 100% sure how on earth it happened. But it really, really did. Yeah, Barmy Gamer, Oosh would be spot on. And speaking of Oosh, look how close Juzma's getting. That's not what we're looking for. Here we go. Right round the outside, thanks to the slipstream, or Izzy as the Corvette got the legs on the Audi, even from the slipstream. Without the slipstream is what I meant to ask there. But with the slipstream, you'd think the Corvette is going to get this one done, but the Audi really is fighting back. What a machine in a straight line there. Back in the infield section, and it is the Audi who maintains the lead of the race. And I tell you, Kovacs is not far behind. Woolering dropping off ever so slightly after serving quite a few penalties then. Bartman, Radius are still... Radius still going at it with Gallo in the background. Gallo's going to be the beneficiary there on the way into turn 1. They got side by side. The Mercedes stepped into the gap, throws sparks in the air. And he's going to have to go round the outside to make this one stick. The Corvette. Oh, and he's run ever so wide there has Bartman. Sorry, not Bartman. Gallo. Oh, and in the background, there's Pfeiffer, Camano, and Kez still right piled on top of one another as well. No bonnet cam. But we can grab this one. As we can see, Kez still chasing them. That Mercedes does sound epic around this course. Sounds epic around any course, so that was a bit of a strange statement to make. Teresa and Carlos Diaz, they're trading position. The BMW. The two BMWs, in fact, this is still the battle of the BMWs. They were separated not so long ago by Southall, who's now back up to 15th position. Served the drive-through. In fact, there's Kovacs. Oh, Juzma. Oh, Juzma. Oh, he's missing his front tyre. Oh, wow. So, Juzma, no replay there, unfortunately. He has returned to the garage in the wall with no tyre. Definitely not a winning strategy, that one, unfortunately. So, Ian Egan then in the Audi now with 1.4 seconds of a lead over Kovacs, with Woolering in third place. Ackerblitz in fourth. Azevedo is in fifth position with Radius now well ahead of Bartman and Dennis Gallo. Gallo still trying to find his way past the Corvette. He's got the inside line, so he's going to have a good position on his way into turn number one. The Corvette trying to stick it right round the outside. The Mercedes will have the apex, and Dennis Gallo does finally get that move done. He is now ahead, so it's both Mercedes ahead of the Corvettes. That's not what I thought it was. Yeah, so there's Bartman then in 8th. Pfeiffer still in 9th, just ahead of Kez. These two really inseparable as well. Okay, yeah, that's the mandatory pit marker coming up now. Bernat Teresa has got himself a slowdown penalty, which is giving Carlos Diaz the run on him. So the BMW is trading positions once again. Definitely need to watch the slowdown penalties in any race, but an hour-long race, yeah, picking them up this early really doesn't bode well. You pick them up this early to get yourself a drive-through, you still run the possibility of getting a drive-through in the second half. Oh, and in the bus stop chicane, another Corvette. This time it is Kovacs. Camano and Kez changing positions as well on their way into the bus stop chicane. They've both made it through though. Camano and Kez, although Kez did pick up a slowdown penalty for track limit violations. And the drivers really are racking them up. Bartman really racking up the miles as well, trying to get back round the outside. There is a full-on Corvette with no front bonnet, in fact. Azevedo's picked himself up a penalty. Bartman and Gallo retrade positions then. Bartman back up to 6th position. Gallo back down to 9th. So Bartman 17 positions to the good at the moment. Radius up 11. So phenomenal driving from those two early doors. Avoided all the trouble. Kept their noses clean, and they're getting some good results so far. 42 minutes left to go. Fast approaching the half-hour mark. We're going to see a lot of cars come in to take that mandatory pit stop. Oh, the Mercedes really getting out on that curb there, and if he's not careful, he's going to let Pfeiffer in the door here. Pfeiffer closing in fairly quickly at the moment as they jump onto his cockpit. 8th place he is in the Corvette. Oh, was that... Oh, that's an interesting line. Oh, and Van Rooyen's picking up penalties back down in 19th place. He's got Leon Seeley just behind him. Juzma, FRT and Paul Stinger all out with the race, unfortunately. Yeah, Marcus, we've actually seen another car. Oh, Leon Seeley picking up a penalty. Well, I've seen another couple of cars at that bus stop chicane find themselves into the wall fairly unceremoniously. So yeah, that curb is claiming victims this evening. That is for sure. Ackerbelt's picking up a slowdown penalty. Right, so at this stage, we're only 19 minutes in the race. We've already seen enough of these penalties for me to openly suggest we may see as many as 5 drivers with extra trips into the pit, unless We see a massive changing of ways. There's Teresa picking up another slow-down penalty as well. In the battle of the BMWs, it's Carlos Diaz who is winning out at the moment. Andy Kez in the Merc. Up that 5 places, looking to overturn Camaro, who's again picked up a couple of penalties. Gallo and Bartman. Oh, they're getting involved, and I did say Pfeiffer was going to get involved in this one as well if they kept this up, and that is exactly what has happened. As we're on board with Pfeiffer, he's got Bartman behind him there, you can see in his rear view mirror, and Gallo ahead. So he is now separating these two that have battled for about 9 laps. And he's got himself, a very good exit there. The Mercedes ahead of him having a little bit of a wiggle there. That's not what he needed. And this is exactly what Pfeiffer was looking for. He's not giving up any slipstream to Bartman. Bartman not giving up any slipstream himself. And he is actually losing time. Whereas Pfeiffer, you can see, definitely not losing time. Bernard Teresa picking up another penalty. Oh, and has he been disqualified? Teresa DNF'd. 4 down, 19 left on track. Pfeiffer kept it in check on the way in and out with the bus stop chicane. Is he going to be able to find a way past into turn number 1? Camano on another penalty as well. Oh, nice up the inside for Pfeiffer, using that slipstream any way he can. He has got his nose in front on their way into turn number 1. Don't know why the camera angle's doing that. Let us see what's actually happening, please. Pfeiffer and Bartman, Gallo and Bartman. There we go. You see me need to jump to helicam. This has been a bit awkward this evening. I don't know what's going on. Luke Southall back up to 10th position. After taking his pits, he's just got his way past Withers and Bagas. There is Kez, Bartman, Gallo, still in that order. Ian Egan, now 2.4 seconds to the good over Wallering in second place. Ackerberts sitting in third. He has definitely picked up a few penalties, so he needs to keep the rest of the race as clean as possible, and he could be thrown away a podium position. Azevedo 7 seconds down the road on Ackerberts. Radius 1.7 down there. Pfeiffer equilibriously about 2 seconds down the road. Gallo 7/10 with a 9/10 gap between Gallo and Bartman. Kez chasing a bit now, but he's going to get a bit of slipstream when Luke Southall inevitably flies past him. No aspersion cast on Kez, but Southall qualified the rest of the field by 0.6 of a second. So he is easily the quickest driver on track at the moment. Just looking to see, he doesn't actually have the purple lap, but he has been in for an exit pit, and there's Pfeiffer getting a slowdown penalty. Smith into the pits with 37 minutes. Now that is an interesting strategy. He is in the Porsche for the Danger Racing squad. So with 37 minutes, he's going to get his mandatory stop done and out of the way. So 37-minute second stint. I didn't expect to see most of the drivers pit bang on the halfway. Although, yeah, Simon alluded to, not all the cars can do. Some cars are a bit worse on their tyres than others. So maybe you need to shorten potentially. Same with the fuel, but certainly that is Smith in. Oh, Bartman, has he come into pits as well? Oh, he's by the side of the track, stationary. Yeah, so Bartman's stationary. Camano then comes through. Is that Carlos Diaz? No, it's not. He's got a Porsche just behind him. That'll be the one that's just out of the pits. It is Smith. There he is there. So yeah, so he has taken his mandatory pit stop. Might need to come in again though. Just because there's one mandatory. I know that's not a lot. Obviously the drivers will be doing their best to have one pit, and that'll be that. May need to come in twice. Quick splash and dash towards the end. Southall looking to put an overtake in on Andy Kes, not wasting any time, carving his way back through the field after that early penalty drive-through. Kamano again with another slow-down penalty. He's already 7 seconds down on Withers. Good battle being put up here by Kes, but it is surely a matter of time before Southall. There you go. Forcing to the outside, looking for a move around the outside of the first turn. Opens the corner right out to take the apex on the way through. Beautiful cutback done there by Luke Southall. Kamano picking up more penalties. Yeah, I think rather than a lap counter today, we should potentially get a penalty counter just to see if I can keep up everything going on, and I still can't see that, but that's fine. Oh my goodness, Twitch, thank you. There we go, loving the sparks, indeed. Got to love that, Marcus. The sparks and the... You have to be honest, I'm quite disappointed in the scope of cameras that we've got at the minute. There's definitely some better ones when you're in replay mode, but yeah, the flames coming out the side of the cars as well. That is definitely some really cool stuff. Oh, Bartman, Teresa, Juzma, FRT and Stinger all out of the race. We've got 18 left and 17 of them need to come into the pits. All 18 of them need to calm the ham on the track limit, so that is for sure. We are going to see a lot more pit stops than people planned. Southall back up to 8. He's got the battle between Gallo and Pfeiffer ahead of him. Oh, Leon Seeley getting a slow-down penalty. So, right through the field, penalties, thick and fast. And it certainly seems to be the story. And, of course, the lap 1 incident, lap 1, turn 1, I mean, the starting grid. I completely missed what happened. A couple of cars just seemed to kick sideways into the wall. Absolute chaos. And yeah, the top two in the race, Southall and Van Roon, now find themselves 8th and 17th position. Leon Seeley started in 10th, he's now down into 18th. Baggett started in 9th, he's got himself back up to 10th after pretty much dead last. And there is Pfeiffer. Tanikav's back up to Radius then. Radius, he was involved in the battle with Gallo and Bartman. But he's got himself well separated from that at the moment, but he does have Pfeiffer. Yeah, Pfeiffer really is closing in. Uh, 33 minutes left to go. So yeah, we're going to see, I reckon, drivers coming in pretty much on the half-hour mark, so we should see the pits starting to fill up pretty soon. Can Pfeiffer get it done before he gets into the pits? Oh, and he's just picked up a tailing off on the way into the bus stop. Although, to be fair, I'd rather have the tailing off than the consequences that some of the drivers have had through there. There's been big contacts with the wall so far. Baggis chipping in on the penalty count. 1.6 he is down on Kes at the moment. Carl Smith grabbing a penalty. Pfeiffer grabbing a penalty. Penalties for everyone. It's a full Oprah Winfrey here. You get a penalty. You get a penalty. You get a penalty. Everyone's getting penalties. Pfeiffer looking to get a position then. Looks for the same move we saw Southall pull earlier. Doesn't quite get the exit speed that he needed. Past the pit exit and into the horseshoe. It is still these two doing battle. Radius now fending off. Pfeiffer, you would think it's only a matter of time before he manages to get this one done. Radius closed that back. And there's Southall in the background, in fact. In 8th place. You can just see his red Audi appearing there ominously certainly, for the drivers out on track. Seeley grabbing himself another penalty there. Pfeiffer on to the embankment then. primary mission here, of course, will be to avoid a penalty in the bus stop chicane. Secondary to that will be trying to get the overtake done. Easier said than done, that is for sure, but he's definitely got the slipstream to use. Has a look up the inside on the way into the bus stop. Is it a brave move, or is he going to make it stick? Oh, he just gets his car in front. Either driver going to pick up a penalty. Ian Egan picking himself up a penalty. And he's lost. Oh, he's in the pits. I'm guessing he's in the pits. Yes, he is. So Ian Egan coming to the pits, yeah, pretty much bang on the halfway mark. Woolering will stay out. So he'll take the lead. Ackerbelts comes in to the pits as well. Oh, now there's a lot of yellow flashing up there. I hope the drivers aren't getting a bit keen on their way in. Luke Southall. Now, we did have the drive-through. It didn't give him any advantage, it would appear. Obviously, a drive-through doesn't give you an advantage, but I just mean for saving some fuel or a bit of tyres. There we go, all changing then. So Withers has stayed out. Southall's come into the pits. Smith's, of course, got his pit stop done. Woolering, as we can see, stayed out. So too did Pfeiffer and Withers. Southall in, Baggis in, Kez in, Carlos Diaz in the pits. Camano into the pits as well. So yeah, absolute flood of cars into the pits on the halfway mark. There's Carlos Diaz making his way in as well. Craig Gallagher just coming through the bus stop. Ian Egan back out on track. Or just exiting, sorry. The pits there. That's him now. Back out on track. So that will be him. He's hoping to the end. There's confirmation that Southall done his mandatory. Ackerbelts has done his radius. All the positions are going to change there. And I tell you what, Southall has played an absolute blinder if he holds on to that position. Surely that's going to all change. There must be cars in front of him. No, there is not. So Southall then, is he potentially only changed 2 tyres? But yeah, another 2 positions taken in the pit stop then for Southall. He's now up to 5th. Pfeiffer with a slowdown. That is not going to end well if he keeps this up. Woolering. Andy Kez drive-through penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Now, the penalty should be appearing next to the drivers' names. But for some reason, they are not. Yeah, no, they've changed the options. I can't see where to switch it back on, so we'll crack on as it is, because it is 27 minutes left to go. It is Lucas Woolering, who is our on-track leader, but he has taken that pit stop. He is slowly exiting the pits as Ian Egan comes past him in turn number 1, so Egan comfortably retains the lead of the race. Withers is into the pits along with Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer, one of the drivers that really does need to be careful with the penalties that he's been getting. Why is that come back on? There we go. Southall then. Looking to take 3rd place. What an outlap he's had, and a consecutive lap after that, in fact. Up to 3rd place. That is incredible stuff. All changed down the field as well. Radius in 5th, Pfeiffer in 6th place. Baggis as he comes back out. So he stayed in 10th place where he went into the pits. Kez in 11th. That's Carl Smith. In 13th, despite an extra penalty there as well. Pfeiffer on Azevedo. Or is that just on his way out of the pits? Oh no, that is a full side-by-side action. The Corvette trying to get his way past the Porsche. In fact, gets his car comfortably in front. The Corvette looking a little tetchy there. But he does manage to control the body roll and keep that thing in check. It really was kicking off at springs here, and of course having none of the overtake. He's looking to go side by side. He's going to open up the corner, look for a good exit onto that embankment. If he can get just even a slightly better run, Azevedo could certainly apply some pressure here. The Porsche engine absolutely howling. Hopefully you guys can still hear me over that. Yeah, that's not bad. This is Azevedo low. This is for 6th position, Pfeiffer ahead. The Porsche trying to chase down the Corvette. Of course, the Porsche infamous for not much straight line speed compared to some of the other GT3 cars. Certainly holding its own around the embankment. Needs a very good exit to hang and keep getting that slipstream. Of course, when I say it can hang, it is doing so mostly because of the slipstreams. You can see the gap closing ever so slightly. They're already more than halfway through that section of bank and out onto the flattened out part of the track, and Pfeiffer won't have to defend this time on his way to turn number 1, or will he? The Porsche potentially having a look. We did see a good move here earlier. Is trying to open up the corner again, look for that run onto the apex. Nothing doing there, and Gallo in the background, he's going to be closing in as well. Bagas up to 9th place then, so he's made it back to where he started. All the drivers except for Gallagher have all taken their pits, and he is just on his way out now. So that will be all the mandatory stops done. Let's see, where is Radius? There he is. Oh, Camano with another penalty. And he absolutely is going to get a drive-through before the end of the race. We've put some channel points on that for sure. That's a lot of penalties he's had so far. Radius having a great race. So too Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer up 16 positions at the moment. Again, he has been one of these drivers that's picked up a lot of penalties. He really does need to keep a clean second half because he's on for a phenomenal result if he brings this one home. Gallo looking to get involved with the Porsches this time. Chased the Corvette in the first stint. He's now got Azevedo in the gang just ahead of him. In fact, that's some BMW is about to be lapped, I believe. Yes, that is Azevedo. Oh, Bagas gets another penalty. That's a couple in fairly quick succession then. Dennis Gallo, he's up to 7th. He was back down to 8th. He's still on 7th. The Porsche has got the inside line as across the start-finish line to finish lap number 20. They're on their way into turn number 1. The Mercedes goes full round the outside. No opening up the corner to try and get back onto that apex quicker. Just plants that right round the outside. And job very nicely done there for Dennis Gallo. Back up to 7th position. So he will no doubt be very happy with that. Still got the Porsche close to him. He knows that the Porsche needs as much help with the slipstream as he can. So he just needs to make sure he gets a good exit onto that outer banking. And that should be this move sealed. Ooh, one of them didn't have a good corner there. Although two completely different types of cars. Or not types of cars, sorry. The Porsche rear engine rear wheel drive and the Mercedes front engine rear wheel drive. So much different weight transfer and distribution, potentially using different lines through that horseshoe, but it definitely looked like the Porsche not quite on point there, and certainly from the exit the Mercedes doing all the running. Gallo getting that gap stretch, so that is the job done over Azevedo then as of the moment. Although look at the way he's closing in there. Oh, at the end of the banking section, coming into the bus stop chicane, the Porsche really fighting back. 6/10 now separating them. Oh, Leon Seeley with a track limits warning. So he's got another slowdown penalty. That's Dennis Gallo that we're on board with at the moment. Ian Egan. He's been handed the lead of the race and he has not looked back. 6.3 seconds he's got of a gap over Wallering. Southall back up to 3rd place despite serving a drive-through for a false start. 17.7 seconds down on the other two podium contenders. Is he going to be able to close it in there? And Azevedo certainly hasn't given up on the position from Gallo. He's closed right back in again, so I'm not sure. I didn't get any notification there. I don't know if Gallo got a penalty or just had a poor turn one. But certainly Azevedo right back in the hunt. Bagas in the Corvette. Not sure why his car's jet black. He's maybe got a livery I don't own. Ninth place then. So back to where he started. Which is a great run considering he was pretty much 23rd at one point. So he's done well to get back up. He's got a bit of a gap to Azevedo ahead. But Azevedo closing in on Gallo and Pfeiffer. So potential battles in the closing 20 minutes. Could see him close in. He's got 13 seconds over Withers, so definitely consolidating ninth will of course be the primary concern. I'm sure if he gets the opportunity to get another position, he will more than likely grab it. There is Azevedo in the Porsche, still chasing Gallo. These two drivers as well, as you can see, Azevedo up 3 positions. Oh, Pfeiffer with another penalty. And Pfeiffer really does need to watch them, in fact. Porsche just getting out of the way there for the blue flags. Carl Smith on a slowdown as well. Dirk Pfeiffer with another slowdown. And that is blue flags there. There's Pfeiffer in the foreground. There's Gallo still chasing him. So Pfeiffer, he's got that position there. He just really needs to calm down on the track limits. Drive-through is the last thing he needs here. Southall now 16 seconds, so he's made up a second on Woolering since the last check. Oh, and that's Gallagher on the exit to the infield section into the wall. And he's still, of course, got to take his pit stop. With 19 minutes left to go, so maybe not a bad thing there. At least, yeah, he had the crash before he went into the pits. So rather than an extra trip in, just a slightly longer one to get that damage fixed, which, yeah, you would think he's going to need to do. But at the moment, it is still Egan leading the way, 5.5 seconds of a gap over Wallering. Southall, 17 seconds again. Down the road, he had got that to within 16 seconds. So he's lost some time there to Woolering again. We're still on board with Pfeiffer. He's got Gallo and Azevedo roughly about a second down. As you can see, Gallo trying his hardest to get within a second. Azevedo picks up a penalty. So he's going to have to slow down. So that will increase the gap between Azevedo and Gallo and decrease the gap between Bagas and Azevedo. Bagas in 9th place where he started. Can he close 9 seconds over 17 minutes? Certainly a big ask, but given... Oh, and Azevedo with another penalty there. To be fair, I'm surprised there isn't more drivers had drive-through penalties so far, given the number of penalties that we've seen. Some more sparks kicking off there on the way into the infield. Dennis Gallo still trying to hang on to the back of Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer still trying to close in on Radius, and he's doing not too bad a job as well. The gap there now only 1.2 seconds. So he's definitely closing in on Radius. Perhaps not pulling away from Gallo the way he'd like, but getting a bit of time on him at the moment. Pfeiffer obviously joined the race late, up 16 positions from his starting point. So I'm wondering if he had a problem in qualifying, because he's certainly showing pace to comfortably be inside the top 10. It's Radius's position. He's looking to take Camano now with a 5-second gap to catch up to Withers. And again, another driver that's had a lot of penalties. So there's someone just exiting. There's Pfeiffer there. So yeah, a lot of penalties. He could certainly already be ahead of Radius and potentially Ackerbelts, given the number of slowdown penalties that he has had to observe so far. Well, Leon Seeley picking up another penalty as well then. The Audi driver only recently switching to race room. But giving it a hot go at the minute. Dirk Pfeiffer round the outside on the Mercedes. And he has got his nose in front. Has he got the car in front though into turn number 1? Yes, he has. Leon Seeley, quick reminder, Andy Withers picking up a penalty. There's Withers there. So the Mercedes of Captain Slow right off the track there. Thankfully no contact with the wall from what we saw. So he should be fine to crack on for the last 15 minutes. Everyone except Gallagher has taken their pit stop. Which is, quite the move, given that there is the mandatory. So you're probably, like I said, you're as well to change tyres. There's certainly, with the times 2 tyre wear, they're going to be fairly well cooked with 15 minutes to go. But he has managed to avoid running out of fuel and or rubber on the tyres. And he is up a position, but he does still have a penalty to take. Frank Van Roon gets himself another slowdown penalty. He's had a couple so far as well. The race certainly on the verge of going from bad to worse. Considering he started on the second row. Carl Smith pops up with a penalty as well. Track limits not being very well observed by the drivers at the moment. And that's Pfeiffer, I think, is going to get a penalty. Leon Seeley slowed down. I think Pfeiffer might have just cut that exit on his way out of the bus stop. Not only is he potentially getting a penalty, he is potentially going to be penalised a position as Radius comes out of the slipstream. Ackerbelts gets a slowdown in 4th position, playing right into the hands of Southall. Gallo gets one as well. Penalties coming thick and fast, so too the beautiful defensive move there from Pfeiffer. Put the car exactly where he needs to, fends off Radius for the meantime. Phenomenal drive by these two though, up 11 and 17 positions from where they started in qualifying. So yeah, qualifying once again proven is purely vanity. Finishing position is the sanity. And these two looking to improve on that finishing position. It's still 3.1 seconds between Woolering and Egan. Oh, and that's a mistake there by Pfeiffer. Into horseshoe number 1. Mistake there by Pfeiffer. And a very patient drive there by Radius. Still hanging on to 5th position. Pfeiffer did seem a bit keen in that braking zone. It certainly cost them some time. And in fact, Gallo in the background. He's going to be looking to get involved here. That's Pfeiffer we're on board with as he goes round the south side using that slipstream extremely effectively. And into the bus stop chicane, it is Pfeiffer back ahead of Radius all the time. Gallo is closing in. There's a little bit of a kick on that curbing. A lot of squealing through those curves. But onto the bank in 7/10. Can he get to within half a second? I want to tell you, the drivers ahead concerned to get to within half a second. As you can see just how close then. Across the start-finish line and into turn number 1. The Corvette holding the inside line. The Mercedes again looking to open up the corner, swing the car round. Oh, not bad. I was going to say a little touch of understeer there, but most certainly was not. There's Gallo in the background. And the gap up at the front then, Lucas Woolering fairly putting the times in now down to 2.7 seconds. So with 10 minutes to go, could be too little too late as far as the charge goes, but can certainly apply the pressure. I'm sure Ian is more than aware of the time difference dropping there. There's Andy Kez picking up a slowdown penalty. That's not Pfeiffer. There is Radius. Still trying to find his way past Pfeiffer. Gallo, you can see there in the background, involved in more battling. 18 left on track. Gallagher did come in and get his pit stop take. Andy Kez, another penalty. That was a big penalty that came up there. Gallagher back out of the pit zone, 18th position. Kovacs in 17th. Seeley and Smith 16th and 15th respectively. Van Roon 14th after dropping right down to the back of the grid. He started in 2nd, dropped right back down. He's made it back up to 14th. Withers in 13th with Kez in 12th. Carlos Diaz leading the battle, leading the charge to chase down Camano in 10th. Bag is back to 9th where he started from. Azevedo in 8th with Gallo in 7th. Radius who we're on board with. In 6th, hunting down Pfeiffer just ahead. In the background, that is... Oh, blue flags. Yeah, so Gallo 17th place. Where do we get to Pfeiffer? In 5th, Ackerbelt's in 4th, and in the podium at the moment, Luke Southall now 15 seconds down on Woolering, who is a consistent 2.7 seconds down on race leader Ian Egan. 10 minutes left on this one. And yeah, I'm sure a few drivers will be praying that they can grab themselves some slipstream. Radius certainly did. Oh, Camano with another penalty. You do feel that's going to get ever so slightly out of hand. Oh, Pfeiffer DNF'd. What's going on there? Wow, so not even a drive-through, straight DNF'd for the track limits, unfortunately, which, yeah, great news to the drivers around them. Ackerbelt's, Radius, Gallo, Azevedo, all now clear of that battle. Bagas up to 8th with Camano in 9th. Seeley with a penalty. Camano now, more than ever, needs to keep his nose clean. 9th place in the bag. A 12-second gap over Carlos Diaz. Diaz is BMW rival. Not so much of a change up at the front still. Great news for Ian Egan. It's steadying out about 2.3 seconds down the gap. So he's lost another half a second. But that was over 2 minutes. So it means if he can keep up this pace, he should win the race. Or if both drivers keep up this pace, Egan should win the race by 0.4 of a second. So that is going to be a grandstand finish there. Gallo and Radius are still going to provide a grandstand finish as well. The two Mercedes drivers were separated when Bartman was involved in the racing as well. He is finished for the day with 7 left to go, and it is Gallo and Radius continuing the Mercedes battle. 2.6 in for Woolering, so yeah, he's not losing, or he's not gaining any time on Egan. I went to the bus stop, has a look around the outside, then positions himself up the inside. Really needs to be careful, keeps that one nicely off the curbs. Little kick of the tyres, a little squeal onto the outfield section, and it is Radius who gets a very good run through the bus stop. Not giving up much of a slipstream there at all. 0.6 of a second that gap. It's not getting any shorter. In fact, it is increasing. So Radius really getting the job done there through that bus stop chicane. Gallo is going to have to keep on pushing. He's got 6.5 minutes to go. 7 minutes still left to go. 2.4 seconds is the gap between Egan and Woolering. That was down to just below 2 seconds. Now back up to 2.7. So Ian fully getting done what he needs to do to hang on to the race win. Blurring on that podium, 16 seconds back on him is Southall, who went from first to last, and he's back up to third. Oh, Azevedo, that was a big spin there. The Porsche all kinds of sideways, and how far back? It's not far back. Don't know why his Corvette's jet black. Yeah, still sitting at 3.4, so I thought he might have gained a bit more time there. Can he apply the pressure? 5 minutes left to go. Oh, Ackerbelts with a slowdown. He's in 4th place as well. So he's got himself a good position. Woolering's just found almost half a second. Carl Smith with a drive-through penalty. With a slowdown penalty. No drive-through as yet. Still 5 long minutes to go here at Daytona. Ackerbelts with a slowdown as well. Oh, there we go. So what is Smith saying? So it's another slowdown. Ian Egan, there he is there in the Audi. 2.6 is still the gap then. So it has fluctuated ever so slightly between himself and Wheelering. But it is averaging out at about 2.5 seconds. So Ian doing exactly what he needs to get done. 266 kilometres an hour. Before he hits the brake. We're not going to see Wheelering's speed because he was already into the braking zone. Gallo 9/10. And that is about as close as it gets at the moment. Wheelering still 2.7. Exit in the bank in 262, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 270, 271, 272. So yeah, a decent bit of difference in the top end speed between the two of them. No surprise. If there was a Porsche involved, but it is the Audi versus the Corvette. Gallagher, only 17 left. Stinger FRT. Juzma, Teresa, Bartman and Pfeiffer all retiring to the pits. I'm sure a few of them were for excessive, or not excessive, just track limit violations. Once you reach and breach those penalty points. That is a one-way trip back in the pits. I did think there would be drive-throughs handed out for it, but no, it is straight up DQ from the race, leaving these 17 drivers, and Mr. Ian Egan, 2.4 seconds is the gap. So it's only changed by 3/10, 2.5 minutes to go. It would take an absolutely colossal effort from Wheelering, or a monumental mistake from Egan at this stage, for the top two positions to change hands. There is Radius, his best of 49.1. So decent laps he's putting in. He's 2.7 down on Ackerbelts, 2.7 ahead of Gallo, who's got 7 seconds on. Azevedo, Bagas, as I mentioned, he's up to 8th. Commander Nice and Carlos Diaz in 10th place. Kez and Withers, 11th and 12th. Van Roon has made his way back up to 13th position. So still 11 down on where he started. Smith in 14th, Sealy 15th, Kovacs in 16th position, and Gallagher. Ow. I think you need to sort a proper earth wire or something. He's got a static shock through my earphones. Hopefully that didn't translate through the stream and you guys can still hear me okay. But where are we? We've got 1 minute 20 left to go, and oh wow, when that gap has halved then suddenly. A minute left to go. Oh, are we starting to see some massive fuel saving by the Audi? Or was it just some blue flag traffic? I don't know. I got a static shock in my ear. So I looked away for a second, but that gap, I was saying it would take a colossal effort or a monumental mistake. We've seen both. Have both transpired. That gap once 2.7 seconds, now down to 1.1 seconds through the bus stop chicane, and he's got a slow down penalty. Ian Egan has picked up a slow down penalty with Lucas Wallering closing in. We will be able to shred that slowed down pretty handily on his way into turn one. Oh, will you have time into turn one though? Yeah, he should. Right, okay, so he's still got the penalty to serve as he approaches turn number one, so he'll be trying to shake it off here. Now, of course, the pace these drivers go at, they don't exactly leave themselves much room, not like drivers like myself who can easily shake off a slow down penalty in any corner, because I'm not exactly the best at it, but that's why I'm here, and they are there. Oh, and the BMW's come right back over there, and that's cost Egan a bit of momentum. Woolering almost goes up the back of the Beamer, as well as Smith. Picking up a penalty. Radius losing the position. Oh, big look from Woolering there. It looked like Egan was late on the brakes, going for the cutback for Egan. They're side by side once again. They looked like they got very close here indeed. It is Egan in second position. Oh, and Woolering really did make sure he got his way through there. A little bit of contact between the two of them on their way onto the outer banking. But it is confirmed. Woolering on the last lap after an hour of racing has taken the lead of the race. Can he keep it though? Because he has given up the slipstream on the way into the bus stop. And Ian Egan pops out of the slipstream as the Corvette then takes the driving line. Ian knows he can get a good run through here. Oh, he's got very close here. Was that an exit dab on the brakes on the exit just to avoid contact? I don't think it was. The Audi doing all the running at the moment then. It's going to be side by side for the two of them across the line. Do love a good grandstand finish here. We're absolutely going to get one. Oh, camera, what are you doing? I see we're going side by side between the two of them. It's Woolering in the lead. It's Ian Egan. They're side by side. Where is the start-finish line? Who's going to win this one? Woolering and Egan. They're nose to tail, and it is Woolering then who has taken the win on the last lap of the race. Incredible stuff then. Luke Southall made his way back. Camera. Luke Southall made his way back up into third position. Ackerbelts, despite the penalty, he's just picked up another one, in fact. Slowed down penalty. It does look like he's going to hang on to fourth, with Gallo taking fifth position then. Woolering and Egan. What a finish between those two. Southall, great drive there. Ackerbelt's fourth. We've still got more cars crossing the line. Azevedo and Simon Bagas just exiting the bus stop chicane to finish his race. Ackerbelts and Azevedo have changed positions. No, that's good for Azevedo's still sixth position, and yet Bagas comes across the line. Sorry, he's got himself seventh. Ran out of fuel, so much fuel saving. I did wonder. I did ask about the fuel saving, didn't I? I'm sure I did. That was something that I mentioned, yeah. But yeah, great racing all round there as Bagas there. He got himself seventh. Camaro, despite the penalties, in eighth. Then it was Carlos Diaz in ninth. And there we go. Kez in 10th place. Woolering got did get the win. And it was Southall with the fastest lap. So great race there from Southall to get back onto the podium. Ackerbelt's fifth, Azevedo in sixth, Bagas in seventh, Camano in eighth, Carlos Diaz in ninth place, and Kez rounding out the top 10. Withers in 11th, Van Roon in 12th, Smith in 13th, Leon Seeley in 14th position. Kovacs didn't finish the race, neither did Gallagher, Radius, Pfeiffer, Bartman, Teresa, Juzma, Equinox, FRT, and Paul Stinger as well, all falling by the wayside, unfortunately. That's jumped to there and that's jumped to there. So let's look at the pretty opening video. While we talk, Vez 120 attack, Audi 150. Okay. Simon did mention something to me about yeah, the different tank sizes and different tyre wear on the car. So yeah, should have been looking out for that one. But still, great racing all round. Congrats to everyone that made it to the end of that one. Definitely all about the strategy, as Ian's mentioned. I am going to embarrass myself by trying to do a raid. Pray for me. Oh, now I can hear myself through the TV. Right, okay, I'll just need to listen to myself talk, that's fine. What we'll do though is we'll get ourselves... There we go. Hopefully his race is just about to start, yeah. Yeah, let's go and do a raid. So yeah, let's do a quick raid. We'll go over and see a good friend of mine, Mr. Jigsaw. He's racing on R Factor 2. Remember to check out simracing.gp. Get yourselves involved. Some phenomenal prizes up for grabs. And there is the Discord link. For anyone that wants to get involved in the racing. That was a special one-off. As I say, we do have the big one coming up. It will be race room in the Pragas. The prize is day trip to Donington as a VIP member of the team. There's Moza R5 wheel bases to be won, and there's even 50 quid for everyone. There's a raffle. Anyone that completes every race of the series will be entered into a raffle, and they win themselves £50 as well. All free entry. So get yourself on to simracing.gp and get yourselves involved. And SOP will be back very soon indeed. Until then, let's go and watch the Flying Welshman on R Factor 2. Enjoy.